There's an almost unknown monkey's fist technique that nobody is talking about because I've only seen one other video about this on YouTube and a couple of pictures online, and I've never shown this on my channel before either. So this legendary and sometimes illegal knot makes for a hard-hitting keychain, and I think stitching it makes it hit even harder, visually that is. So I added some thinner 275 cord in between the 550, but it wasn't that simple. I had to break one of my rules about tying monkey's fists with a secret technique.
And tonight you're gonna break your one rule.
That's not immediately obvious. Now with any good monkey's fist knot, I'm starting with my core, a 1-inch steel ball. And before you say it, yes, do be aware of your local laws about making or carrying something like this. More on that later though. Paracord we're using, by the way, is of course from paracordweavers.com. Check us out for the best cord, kits, and supplies for this amazing hobby. Links below. Now from here, I'm going to make 4 vertical passes around the core. Now I'm doing this freehand without a jig, but if you don't have the necessary finger strength or experience, using a jig really helps with medium to large monkey's fists, as the jig can keep everything nice and neat. So keep the core centered within the passes. The second set of passes goes perpendicular to the first, wrapping horizontally for another 4 times. Now, if you're new here, you may not be familiar with this knot, and you might be wondering why it's so legendary. Well, just to give you a start, one of the first uses of this knot was that it was widely used by sailors dating back to the 1800s to weigh down the ends of ropes on ships for throwing. And after the second set, I'm going to remove my fingers, from the knot that is, and then do a final set of 4 passes going through the spaces above and below the core where my fingers used to be. Now this is the part that people can tend to struggle with, as the core tends to fall out and cause you to throw a hissy fit. And if it does, don't worry, trust me, I've been there. But if you pinch the first horizontal set of passes and hold it there, I find it keeps everything together quite well. Now, as I was saying though, aside from the primary use of this knot by sailors, the monkey's fist has evolved to do so much more. We are making a keychain here of course, but I do think the most recent and popular uses for this amazing knot is to make Beglery, that super fun skill toy that consists of 2 small monkey's fists joined in the middle. I've got a ton of monkey's fist Beglery videos by the way, so if you haven't gone down that rabbit hole as of yet, I highly suggest it if you want a gateway into skill toys. And after that third set, we're going to cinch out some, but not all of the slack in the monkey's fist. I like to start with the slack in the initial set of wraps. Now, if you're not familiar with the process of tightening this knot, I have a complete guide and video on that which I'll link. But in this case, we only want to do a cursory tightening because we still need to add the stitching. Try to get the amounts of cords coming out of the monkey's fist even as well. Now, are you ready for this next part? Because this is where the magic happens.
Are you watching closely?
With the monkey's fist tied and not completely tightened, we can start stitching in our 275 cord, which is super easy using a lacing needle. I'm just going to go in on the right side of one of the running ends coming out of the monkey's fist. And from there it's actually super simple. You just trace the right side of that 550 cord with the 275. So if you can trace a line, you can stitch a monkey's fist.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. What?
Follow that one strand of 550 staying on the same side with the 275, and it will fit neatly between the strands. The only tricky part is where you round the corners, but if you stay the course, it will keep you on the same path between the monkey's fist passes. Now, I'm not showing the entire process of stitching as it would make this video way too long, but trust me, it's even easier than it looks. As long as you go in on that right side and stay on the same side, you'll make it through. And with regards to the 2 types of cord being used, I think the 550 and 275 combo is ideal because if you use anything thinner like 95 or microcord, it's just going to disappear in between the 550 and into the monkey's fist. So it's not really going to look that nice. So now, I haven't forgotten about the whole legality of these keychains as I mentioned earlier. If you live somewhere where it's illegal to make, possess, or carry a monkey's fist with a weighted or solid core, you can always use a non-weighted core, perhaps like a cork ball or something hollow. Just be aware of your local laws at the end of the day. So what was the secret technique? Well, you've actually been seeing it this whole time. If you're not a Monkey's Fist veteran, you probably haven't noticed, so I don't blame you at all. So what I did was I tied a 4-pass Monkey's Fist around the 1-inch core. Normally, without fail, my rule is that I always tie a 5-pass Monkey's Fist. However, in this case, I only did 4 because the added bulk of the 275 made up for that one missing pass. So why didn't I just do the usual 5-pass and add stitching? Well, I tried that, and what actually ended up happening was that there was too much cord. And when you pack too much coverage around the core, the passes eventually get too squished and messy, and the result was less than stellar. So the key trick to a stitched Monkey's Fist is doing one less pass and letting the 275 make up for the coverage around the core. At least in this case it was. It will change depending on the size and cord used. So I have also tested this method to make a stitched Monkey's Fist by Glary. So if you guys want to see that, let me know in the comments below, of course. And in this case, we are making an impact tool, but I'll be honest, from the get-go, these are made more for the novelty of it. People always start a debate in the comment section when this topic comes up, but could you use something like this for self-defense? Sure, just about anything can be pressed into the role of a self-defense tool like a pen. But honestly, there are of course much better options out there. Now, I'm not going to get too into that though, as I live in Canada and defending yourself is borderline illegal. I'm actually not kidding. So I of course do not carry anything like this for that purpose. For me, it's just about the crafting aspect, and I do make videos about this kind of stuff, so it really is for the love of the game. So once the stitching is done, we can do our final tightening. Now, I found this part easiest by tightening the 550 separately from the 275. Now, if you have a marlin spike or even some needle nose pliers, those work great for picking up the cord and getting the slack out. Or you can, just make yourself suffer like me and use your fingertips and nails. Once the Monkey's Fist is nice and tight, we can snip off the excess 275. Also, when I do the tightening, I just looked for areas that had slack that needed to be worked out. I wasn't super methodical about it, but I was meticulous, if that makes sense. Now, because this Monkey's Fist is so special, we're of course going to finish this with another technique which I haven't really applied to the impact tool keychain, the crown knot. Just before that, I'm going to tie a double snake knot to gather the strands first. Just make an overhand loop with one strand around the other, and then the other strand wraps up and over and through the first loop made. Then we double up the cords for the double snake knot. Another word about if you're actually going to use this as a keychain though, if you are going to do that, I would not use this for your car keys if you have a key that needs to go into the ignition, as the weight of the Monkey's Fist can potentially damage the ignition if it's hanging from the keys. If you're using a lightweight core like cork, wood, or styrofoam, you probably won't have to worry about that. With the snake knot done, we're going to connect the Monkey's Fist to the keyring in a way which I haven't done on this channel before either, with crown knots. To make our crown knot connector, I'm going to incorporate a third cord, placing it on top of the snake knot. And then we cross the goldenrod strands over, and then the green strands pass over top and through the elbows of those cords to tie our first crown knot. Now I'm tying the round crown knots, and the key to these is that for every subsequent knot, the strands pass over to the opposite sides and not the same sides. This causes that sort of square-ish looking knot to rotate, creating the rounded effect. If they pass over the same sides, the crown knot becomes the square version, the very same ones used to make the $440 keychain. You can check that one out too on my channel. So from here, I'm just going to weave about 4 inches of crown knots. I chose this style because the round shape would make for a much better grab handle. Of course, I'm not actually swinging this around, but it still could very well be a nice handle for grabbing or holding your keys. And yes, I do realize the irony of me creating this quote-unquote impact tool and telling you that I'm not using it for that purpose. If I made one with a hollow or lightweight core, it could still make for a great keychain if you want the Monkey's Fist to dangle out of your pocket or bag for quick access. Now this style of crown knot on its own makes for a great keychain as well, but the most notable other use I've had for this knot is the Chuck Larry Pocket Nunchuck skill toy, of which I have a video on and even a kit for over at Paracord Weavers. And at least for the Chuck Larry, those are definitely not illegal, despite actual nunchucks being illegal in certain places around the world, as they purely are a toy. But I guess I just like making borderline illegal stuff with Paracord on this channel. Well, if any of you are interested, I have been thinking of making some Paracord knuckle dusters that are actually hardened. Again, just for the love of the game. Ultimately, I think that's the real challenge for me, is coming up with an idea and seeing if I can pull it off. Anyhow, I'll stop rambling. Now, if you have an alternate way for connecting the crown knots to the keyring, feel free to drop that in the comments. I'm just showing you guys one way of doing something, and I never claim to be the be-all end-all when it comes to paracord crafting, which is what I love about it actually. There's so many ways to do these things. Now when we get to the keyring, for a simple finish, you can just tie the last crown knot over the keyring and snip the cords there. But for a slightly fancier finish, because why not? After the last crown knot over the keyring, we can pass each running end through the last knot. And each end passes under the elbow of where the two crossed over strands meet in front of it. This knot is the 4-strand diamond knot or 4-strand foot rope knot if I'm recalling correctly. Now if this camera angle is unclear, I have a dedicated video on this knot, and it was just a bit hard manipulating this one with the monkey's fist attached and the keyring in the way. So just go all the way around until all 4 strands are gathered through the last crown knot to the middle. Now if I'm not mistaken, there are leather wrapped versions of this kind of impact tool called saps or blackjacks. So I was thinking, should we start calling these monkey jacks or something like that? Or would that be too weird? You guys let me know. Then we gather all 4 running strands and cinch that knot up. I think this finisher is definitely worth the extra step, as it gathers all the ends neatly to one spot. If you don't like the look of the melted ends, you can always leave some tails on this one, by the way. From there we can snip off the excess and melt. So 1 monkey's fist, 2 new techniques, and a brand new take on this legendary knot. So if you want to see a monkey's fist impact tool in action, or an even more epic version, check these videos out.